Okay, I wanted to put that little warning at the beginning because it's a little bit of a sensitive information. So episode 7 and 8, that's what we're 7, and then I'm going to do my review at the end. So there's an incident with the cameraman. Sophie was walking, and, you know, one of the cameramen, you know, grabbed her inappropriately, and so basically he was asked out, and they blurred that coward's face out, and he was asked to leave, and they all just came and comforted her. She wanted to press charges, but according to this is public information, according to the police department of Dallas, there was not enough to press charges. Kelly was a full mama bear. She was like, cause I remember Sophie was trying to still dance, and, you know, afterwards, and Kelly was like, she pulled her. She's like, no, she does not need to be dancing in that mindset. And I feel like there's a lesson here. Like, I know some people who would decide, oh, she was doing too much or da-da-da. Please let me know who you are so I can block you. But there's a lesson here because it really shows that even with all that protection around, there's still somebody out there. Like, they have security guards, they have these people, like, you know, like even with all these people around it, there's still, like, my heart really hurt with that, you know. And they have a way of making sure that nothing like that happens, because even when they visited the nursing home, like, they bring a football, okay? Bring a football. So they bring a football, so they, like, cause, you know, like, like, as humans, we don't really know what to do with our arms, so they bring a football. They bring a football so they can hold it, you know? They bring a football so they can hold it, and they bring a football so they can hold the football and just hold it like this so they can be able to have something to do with their hands. Like, there's a no-touch policy. So they bring a football as a prop, you know, something that they can, like, grab, whatever. But, like, when she had her incident happen, like, I heard her, you know, because you all know I have a whole page, Zano Cosplay. Like, I do cosplay, different events. I have a whole page, whatever. And there's been plenty of times where I could tell that they wanted more, you know. Like, there's plenty of times where I'm out and they're like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Hey, can I take a picture with you? But I can sense, like, that's why usually my little rule with cosplay is just like, I was like, how about we both do 2 poses and let's pose near each other. So if you're doing a pose like this, you can't touch me. There's no need to touch me if you're doing a pose. So that's how I make my own boundary, you know. And I just I felt her, you know, like, I really coincide with her, really understood where she was coming from, because they, like, as a woman, like, I have on here, men are disgusting. Those men, not all men, but, like, it's just, as a woman, like, I don't know anybody who's never been made I don't know anybody who's never not been made uncomfortable, you know. Like, there's always some, oh, well, when I A, B, and C'd, or when this happened, like, there's always been some level that a person has experienced something they didn't want to experience, you know. So it's just, I really felt for her there. And Sophie, you're amazing. I hope you could feel bad about yourself. Anyways, okay, so we're going to Christmas time. So Christmas time is a tradition. They light the Christmas tree. So 21 days they're working straight. They're working back to back. Even if they're not working a game, they're doing events. They're doing a swimsuit calendar, doing meet and greets. This one for the halftime Christmas holiday event, whatever, they had all the alumni basically from classes of 1970s, like recent, the 10s, as she said, the 10s, the 2000s, the 10s, the 90s, the 80s. I like that. That was so sweet. And I'm just like, do y'all just keep their number on file? You know, people move. But it was just basically saying cheer through the decades, which, like I said, I'm going to say that in a little bit about my final review of everything. But I do wish they would have, like, showed, like, more, like, how did it really start? Like, they said how it started, but they didn't really say how it started. But it was nice to see, like, some of the, like, the older women, like this was, like, my dream, you know. Like, my dream is that, like, older women, younger women, we all just go around just sharing stories or just listening. Like, a lot of the stuff I know is because like, the moment somebody who's older than me, wiser than me says something, I have my notebook. What'd you say to do again? I have my notebook ready. But, you know, there's always that competition between young and older women that fuels the beauty industry that we'll never get there. But it was beautiful to see the founders and the new class of 2023 basically pass the torch. This is Kelsey's last game. Basically, the last game is by when they lose. So I felt her. I felt like she was breaking up, you know? but she was breaking up. So, but you're 5-year veterans. That basically that's the end of that. And so basically, I didn't know this as well. I didn't know that the veterans tell them if they're coming back. I thought it was like they have like they have like a mass audition. Like, oh hey, didn't I see you last year? I didn't know they actually tell them. So basically, I have a choice of. Like they have like to the right is if you're leaving, so you have the right to go, and then to the left is that the left is that you're staying. The right is that you're leaving, you have the right to go. The left is that you're staying with them. So of course Kelsey put hers on the right. She's ready to go, baby. She's married. She's about to have a nice, beautiful life. Like, I just feel like Kelsey just graduated, from it pretty much. And then, so we come to Victoria, and basically Victoria asked the question that they were too afraid to address, which, like I said, but Kelly, like, once again, like, I love me some Kelly, but I really wish y'all would have been a little bit more direct with her. And basically she says, Victoria was just like, if I stay here another year, will I basically get wifey material? And they're like, no, like there's certain aspects of you that just doesn't make for leadership. And so Victoria's like, well, I'm going to come back to prove y'all wrong. And then she puts her rack on the side, and I could just sense it. I could just sense from Victoria, like I can just sense there's a lot of her self-esteem writing on this. So I feel like she goes to the left. And so they have a banquet, which is cute. They give them little rings, like a Super Bowl ring. Like all the rookies get a ring. I thought that was so cute. Like it's just a banquet to just let loose. I wish that it would. I wish that part of the show was more energy on that, because like there was no boys there, so it was just only girls, so you can really focus. Like no boys to distract or whatever. It was just really cute. Like I wish they would do like a pajama party afterward. Like just really just girl time. Just really sit there talk. It was just no boys allowed. Anna Kate. I have on here Anna Kate, watch out for Caroline. So Caroline is her sister who I said got injured earlier. I do sense a little bit of jealousy there. So they're sisters, but just be careful. Okay. Final review of the whole series. I have several questions. Okay. First question. How come they just don't substitute salary for living arrangement? Like a lot of these people, I want to say they're living in bad apartments, but I really wish they would have been like, okay, so if we can't give you $100K or at least $200K doing this, how about we put you in a decent sized apartment in Dallas, so you can so you don't have to focus on that. So you're like, I don't know if maybe they didn't say it, but how come they just didn't substitute it? I have on here, what happens when it's the time of the month? I feel like this was something that wasn't addressed. I don't know why I didn't say anything about it, but that was my first question. Like, what do y'all do in that case? Like, I was really confused on why they never addressed it. It was kind of awkward, because that's the first thing I want to know. Like, that's a lot of white. Okay. And we were like, maybe a tampon or something. I was like, that's a lot of white. Okay. So I was mad they didn't address that. So I'm going to go into the physical attributes. I have on here, how come they should be upfront about the hair? I noticed that no one's hair is in their face for, athletic reasons. You don't want to do a high kick and your bangs are in your face. No ponytails. I noticed there's no ponytails, no bangs, no braids. And you have to basically wear dramatic makeup at all times. Like there's a lot of blush, a lot of bronzer, a lot of heavy liner, because it has to show up on camera. Like even though this looks good, I have 4 ring lights on my face, so this is going to show up well. But when you're on a big jumbotron, your face card has to read down. So wearing dramatic makeup makes sense, but the health of my skin would deteriorate over time. I can see myself aging 10 years and probably 5. Okay. Height and weight restrictions. Let's address the elephant in the room. Y'all need to start being more honest. I have on here, if they really want to be up front, they need to be up front. Height, basically 5'4.5" to about 5'8". And then weight restrictions, I'm assuming about one, you don't want to be too scrawny, as I said, which is messed up. 110 to about 150. And that's if you can prove to me that you can fit the uniform. I really wish they would have just been more upfront about it, because then they said anybody can audition. I was like, listen, like when I auditioned for ANTM, there's a rule at the door and a wet wipe. They want people who are naturally beautiful, someone who they can just throw lashes and lipstick on and shoot a magazine cover. They don't want to have to, no offense, reinvent the wheel. And these are their words, and I respect them for it, because what's going to happen is that you're not going to be able to get a job, because they already told you off rip what time it was. I wish they would have been that. Age restrictions. I feel like a lot of them are saying anybody, any age range can audition. I was like, you need to start putting that age range. 'Cause I really feel like that being a DCC is pretty much for about 18. 18 might be too young emotionally to deal with the criticism, but usually 18 about 32, and 25 is usually when they start looking at you like, you're still here? You know, I do feel like they need to have more honest age and body and, you know, hair restriction. I'm gonna say hair restriction because, like I said, they had the 4C. I love that, but I really wish that they would have put more emphasis on that. I feel like there's a little bit of shadiness there, but not being honest about it. I have on here, who cleans the uniform? Is it dry clean? It's also white. Like, who's cleaning it? Like, I want to know, like, who is cleaning, who is cleaning, who is doing that? Okay, so I have on here as well, where are the Asians? Okay, because I went a little bit research. I think I saw one like 3 years ago, but where are the Asians? I want a little bit more diversity. Okay. So my overall review is 2 out of 5. I wish it was an actual DC documentary. It gave more reality show for class of 2023, which that's so fine. I would have watched that show as well. But I thought I was watching a doc. I thought I was gonna be watching something I can take home and be like, hey, I learned this, hey, I learned that. I didn't learn anything I couldn't have Googled myself, or Wikipedia myself. But I wish I would have found out like that more of the maybe this might be a side one, but maybe the history of the Black DCC, because I want to hear how was it to join this team in the 1970s, not too long after MLK's next trip to the upper room. You know, like, I want to know how was it, like, because there had to be a certain level of fear there, because it's like, am I really gonna be considered? And they were in there, and they were dark skinned, like, you know, because sometimes they'll be like, okay, we'll take a Meghan Markle, you know, but like, they were dark skinned, they had their hair, like, nothing about that. I really want to hear from them. Maybe they do like a side interview or something for Black History Month or something, but like, I really want to hear their opinion, because I'd have been terrified in the 1970s to audition for that. I'd have been terrified because, like I said, there was a lot of things that were okayed back then that would have been okay now. Okay. Origin of DCC explained more. Like, I know it started off as, you know, a bunch of models, and like, they noticed that the models did not have enough stamina during the day. Like, I'm very well versed. They noticed that the models did not have enough stamina during the day to keep up. So they started getting gymnasts, but gymnasts were too short to see on the screen. So that's how they kind of like did like a combo of like, we need someone who is good in ballet, good in gym, whatever, but gymnastics, but we need somebody who can really, you know what I'm saying, like, really like stand it. Cause like I said, like, that's the reason why I would have no one taller than, basically no one me. Okay, like, I wouldn't have anybody over 5'8", 5'9", because our legs are so heavy to lift, and you have to be able to just fly them things left and right. And I can do a high kick. I've showed you guys before. It's just to do that over and over again, I would tire the team out. And then on top of that, my legs are long. So someone who's 5'3" or 5'4", she's gonna be running to catch up with me, especially since they're not doing a little stroll. Hey, did you want to promenade? Like, they're doing a full-on stroll. You can't catch me, because I have I love my short friends, but I have friends who are like 5'2", 5'4", and they tell me all the time, Claire, you left me, you know, and I'm walking slow. So I can only imagine on the field, if I'm one of the leaders and I'm doing this, like, someone who's 5'5" is gonna be like, thunderstruck. You know, like, they're not going to catch up. So I wish they would be like the Rockettes, because the Rockettes have a height requirement. So I wish they would do that. Natural hair to be down there. My heart. When I saw the natural hair, I wanted to cry. I was like, oh my God, our hair is being accepted. And I know, like, that's not a pick me. It's just like, you don't understand. Little girls out there who see somebody with that type 4 twist, I'm like, hey, mommy, that's me. Like, that's going to be so, like, I love the fact that we don't have to just straighten our hair to like blend in. Big representation. I have on here a positives that they're upfront about the critiques. They're like, hey, you were off. Hey, you were chirping. Hey, your knee wasn't high enough. I like that, because what pisses me off is when people take things personal and start picking, oh, well, you smelled today, or da-da-da. It's like, but they really want to talk about something else. Like, I love when somebody's specific with a critique. Perfect example, even with being Claire hair, they're like, hey, Claire, can you start making longer videos? I feel like you're rushing and you're long-winded when you say your stuff. And I was like, you're right. Let me start breaking them up. Let me start making videos minimum. Like, be specific about your critiques. But other than that, I enjoyed the whole thing. I would watch it again if they made another one. Love some DCC. And don't forget to subscribe and share. It's Claire Haire. Okay, that's why so many of them, you're here. Look.